Welcome to the Rayven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Rayven Space Mailbag, where we answer your questions about the Baltimore Ravens. Thank you guys so much for sending in questions. If you want to send in a question, please send it to mailbag@theravenspace.com. A special shout out to our Patreon subscribers, because without you guys, none of this is possible. And please subscribe if you're not yet subscribed to the Rayven Space on YouTube for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. We're going to hop right in with a question from Jack, and Jack asks, out of all 32 teams, what do you rate our secondary? And what do you rate our defensive line? Thank you so much for this question, Jack. Now, this is a little harder because, again, a lot of things are moving. Players are getting injured. Trades happened and all that good stuff. I would say if I had to rate our secondary, I would rate it number 3, maybe number 4. There's some very, very good secondaries in the NFL. You have the Patriots, who just picked up Gilmore. So you got Gilmore. You got Malcolm, who made the interception, Malcolm Butler, the interception to win a Super Bowl, right? You have great safeties there. So the Patriots are a good team. I don't know why. I'm not ranking these teams. I'm just saying these teams are very good, and I think they may even still be ahead of the Ravens. Of course, you always have the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle will always be a top team. I think you have a team like the Kansas City Chiefs that has, in my opinion, the best safety in the NFL, Eric Berry, and the best cornerback in the NFL, in my opinion, Marcus Peters. And so it's different things like that. You have to weigh it. Now, the Ravens have 2 of the top 4 safeties in the league. I do believe that. Maybe one of the best strong safeties. And last year, Pro Football Focus ranked Eric Weddle the best safety, right? So, that's what they have. Again, I would say around that 4 spot. And so for defensive line, it's a lot harder because defensive lines are built so different. Usually secondaries are built the same: 2 corners, 2 safeties. You have a nickel, right? But again, a 3-4 defensive line and a 4-3 defensive line are totally different things, right? You can't compare J.J. Watt to any Baltimore Ravens defensive lineman because they just don't do the same things. J.J. Watt pass rushes. J.J. Watt run stops. J.J. Watt does a lot of different things that Brandon Williams is not asked to do. Brandon Williams' job is to push the pocket, right? So, when you compare a J.J. Watt and a Brandon Williams, in your head, J.J. Watt flashes, but how good would J.J. Watt be if his job was to only push the pocket and prevent the run, right? He would not get all these sacks and different things like that. So that's hard. For me, the Texans will have the number 1 defensive line because they have J.J. Watt. When you have the best player, the defensive player in the league, you will have the best defensive line. The Ravens, I don't know where they rank yet because we have to see how good of the pass rush they are. They're great at running, but the pass rush does matter when you're ranking things. So we got to see. So that one's hard. So I'm not going to give you an answer. They're not number 1. The Texans are number 1 in my opinion. But secondary, I do think we're around 4 with like the 3 teams that I named being ahead of us. I think they're very good. Now, a lot of people like the Falcons. I don't. I think their secondary is overrated. I think when you play with a lead, it's very easy to get sacks. It's very easy to get interceptions because other teams have to throw the ball, right? So I think they're overrated. But that's what I say. Thank you so much for your question, Jack. We're going to move on to the next question. And this question comes from a Patreon subscriber. Thank you so much, Michelle. And this question is, are you surprised how good Buck Allen has been looking in the preseason? Thank you so much for your question, Michelle. And the answer is yes. I'm very surprised how good Buck Allen is looking. Buck Allen, to me, was a player that struggled when other good players got around. That one year where he was the number 1 running back, Justin Forsett got hurt and different things like that. He did shine us to a 4-12 record. But I think that when you had West and you had Dixon come in, he shrunk. But in this preseason, he's looking very good. So good, in fact, that I think that he will make the team. And other players like Bobby Rainey and Mizell will not make the team. I think their time is done. Again, this third preseason game that's going to happen against the Bills will tell us, how good he really is. This is being recorded before that game. So, you guys will know. I'll know after that. But I think that Buck Allen is a player to watch, and I think that he will get some time in the regular season because of how well he's playing in the preseason. So thank you so much for your question, Michelle, and we're going to move on to the next one. And this next question comes from Joe, and Joe asks, I know this might be early, but which Raven is most likely to get cut if they are injured again this season? Thank you so much for your question, Joe. Very simple, very easy. The answer is Michael Campanaro. Michael Campanaro will get cut if he gets injured again for a prolonged amount of time. He's been given so many chances. He's on a 1-year contract, so cut might not be the right word. He's on a 1-year contract. If there's another player they want, they'll get him. But if he gets injured, he will not be on the Ravens next year. He's been playing as the number 1 receiver in the preseason, which again hurts our offense, of course. But he has some skill. I can't say he doesn't. It's just a shame that he's never put it all together because he can't stay on the field. I don't really think he's an explosive returner, really. I don't even know if he has any return touchdowns, but I'll check. But I just don't think he's explosive. I really don't. I think that he's shifty, more shifty than fast. I don't know what his 40 is, but he just doesn't light up the field to me like the way that a Hill, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, is the fastest guy I've ever seen running a kick return, right? He's just the fastest, right? I don't see that in Camp. Now, if Camp can make his way onto the team, be a good slot receiver, catch some balls, give Jeremy Maclin a rest every now and then, I think he'll be fine, but he has to stay healthy because if he gets injured, he's useless to the team and they'll cut him because they don't want that injury risk anymore. You've seen them do things like cut Dennis Pitta because they're done with the injuries. I think if you're a player that's dispensable and you're getting injured, I don't think the Ravens want to deal with you. And Campanero is the next one in that hopper. Thank you so much for your question, Joe, and we're going to move on to the next one. And this is the last question of the day. Remember, please send your questions to mailbag at theravenspace.com. It is in the description below so you can send your questions. And this question comes from Ravens fan, which was his name. Should the Ravens give these other QBs a chance? Tavares Jackson and Charlie Whitehurst. No. Sorry, Ravens fan who's anonymous. No. And the reason is it's too late. It is too late for a new quarterback to come and learn the system and be proficient in it and handle it all, right? I'm worried about Ryan Mallett's play because when the offense gets more complicated in the regular season, I think it's going to get worse. But bringing in Tavares Jackson and Charlie Whitehurst, who arguably are just as or less talented than Mallett, isn't going to help your team. I thought the Ravens bringing in a quarterback earlier would have been the best thing to do. Again, there are more talented quarterbacks out there right now that the Ravens and other NFL teams don't want. I'm not going to comment. And not just that guy, not just Colin, but also like RG3, who, though RG3 is a very, very big injury risk, his upside, we saw it. Now, you do have to simplify the offense for him, but he does have an upside that I think that the Ravens do like. Charlie Whitehurst, not super impressive. Again, he's a backup. He is a premier backup. Now, that might help Joe Flacco, but doesn't help the Ravens if he gets in the game. And Tavares Jackson, I think, though physically talented, just could never put it all together. I don't think any quarterback other than the top 2 quarterbacks in the free agency right now can help the Ravens, because I think that Mallett, though sometimes scattershot, sometimes makes bad plays, does have a good arm. If he lets it go and stops thinking, you can see the ball travel. And I think that's something that the Ravens do like in him, because it is similar to Joe Flacco. So Ravens fan, no, I do not think that's a good idea. I would not give him a chance. And also, I don't even think the Ravens have the cap room to give these players a chance either. So thank you so much for you guys' questions. And this has been another episode of Raven Space Mailbag. Thank you guys so much. I love doing this. You guys are the best, the Raven Space community. Please, please, please subscribe if you're not subscribed to the Raven Space on YouTube for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. Also, if you're not a Patreon subscriber and you want to support us, support independent media, check out our Patreon. It is in the description below. You guys can help us. Every dollar counts. So if you only can give $1 a month, please give $1 a month, and we'll keep on growing. So thank you so much, and go Ravens.